without further ado, help me welcome Art Sutton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and our most honored guest. Winston Churchill is famous for his democracy is the worst of all systems, except for all the others. Well, there may be a better one, technocracy, where we choose leaders because, kind of like college presidents or people that are in charge of companies and so on, because of their ability, their learning, that sort of thing. Why kind of, what are we when we're in a democracy? You know, humans have been around for over 1 million years, and our minds, our indoctrination systems are like the million-year-old people. Now, we've only had written language for about 10,000 years. We've only had literature and people writing stuff like Socrates for about 2,500 years. We've only had the printing press for about 500 years. So people might have written something that was kind of useful, but there weren't many copies of it. And we've really only had a large number of people reading for maybe 250 years. So most people were not cognizant of much of what was going on. And also we didn't have universities, think tanks, that sort of thing. Until 150 years, we had a little bit about the Flexner Report, a little over 100 years ago. In the last few years, knowledge has really expanded. It's just growing exponentially. That's why we need to incorporate that in technocracy. I'll take one example that's really expanded: architecture, building. The old system, the greatest thing was, the epitome of it was probably the Gothic cathedral. Just by accident, they learned how to have the flying buttress, which said that the force of the wall was taken over by the flying buttress, and so the wall didn't have to be very thick. In fact, it could have glass in it and so on, and you could build those soaring vaults. They kept building the Gothic cathedrals higher and higher until the highest one ever built collapsed a few years after it was built, probably because they didn't know much about soil. Now you have geotechnical engineers that'll tell you what's your foundation has to encounter, and they didn't know that. But a cathedral today, quite beautiful and so on, but it's nowhere near the size of most of the buildings in the downtown of a general city, much less a soaring skyscraper. We have really expanded. Why? Because we've had so much development of new building materials, new building techniques, a whole lot of papers and writing. We've really expanded because of the technology. Economics, we haven't done quite as well. We're doing better. In 1929, people did the wrong thing. Stuck to the gold standard, that sort of thing. And that made the Depression really bad. In 2008, we had the makings of really a bad depression. It got into housing. Housing is something that we all need. And yet, we call it more of a recession. It only lasted for about a year, and we've been going up since that time. Because Bernanke had studied the 1929 Depression. And he said, here's what you need to do. Here's what they did wrong. Here's what you need to do to not get into that trouble. In other words, he was a technologist. He was using technocracy. And we came out fine. Now, tonight we have had medicine. Medicine's a little different because, well, there's a placebo effect. When I was a kid, I worked in a hospital. I was an orderly, and so if somebody said they were in pain, I would go tell that to the nurse, and the nurse would say, take a blue pill. So I would take a blue pill down and give it to them. Come back an hour, and the people would say, I'm still in pain. I'd go to the nurse, and the nurse would say, give him a red pill. Fortunately today, and I really should say, medicine is a lot different than when I was an orderly. And at that time, I think there was a kind of that you should suffer, that you ought not to help the patients too much. Suffering was somehow something that patients just had to do. The reason I want to bring up technocracy is that we are perhaps in a really bad spot. We notice that things are getting hotter, the ocean is getting higher, we've got more hurricanes and that sort of thing. And we need, I think, to say, bring in our best minds, bring in our best technology to solve it. Technocracy rather than democracy. Mr. Toastmaster.